Now, we wanted to speak to women involved in politics in countries around the world who themselves could one day be members of their respective parliaments. And we wanted to talk to them about the language and rhetoric used in parliament, in politics, in their country, and find out why entering modern day politics appeals to them. I've got three wonderful guests with me. Kanwal Toor is the chairman for the Conservative Party Women's Organisation for Diversity here in the UK, and she's in London. Melanie Dorigo is a Democrat in the United States and is running for Congress in New York's 3rd District. And Hasiba Amin is the social media coordinator for the Congress Party in India and joins me from Delhi. Kanwal, to begin with you, this is closer home for you. Has this put you off in getting involved in politics?
Hi there, first of all. No, it hasn't. This is what I was telling someone else the other day as well, that politics is not a cakewalk. Policy making is not a cakewalk. Running a country is not easy. Obviously, topics such as the Brexit and the EU referendum are very, very heated, difficult topics in England. People are very passionate. People are frustrated. They're angry. And till the time we don't deliver that which has been promised in 2016 to the people of the United Kingdom, unfortunately, keep increasing, and there is nothing much we can do about it. So yeah, I'm not surprised. I've lived in India, I've lived in Singapore. All around the world, when debates are heated, this is what.
And the debates are pretty heated in the United States as well. Kamal, I just wanted to move to Melanie, who's also obviously witnessing all these divisive conversation around the impeachment and even otherwise involving the president, Mr. Trump, and the opposition as well. Melanie, how do you see this?
Hi, well, thank you for having me here today. What we see in America, President Trump's hateful rhetoric, we have seen translates into very real world consequences. He's emboldened white supremacy on a level we haven't seen, certainly in my lifetime, which has led to mass shootings. It's increased anti-Semitism. It's increased Islamophobia in our country. And I think, quite frankly, most Americans are just outraged by it. And so it has not deterred me from jumping into the race. In fact, it's partly a motivator because it doesn't feel normal. And we're standing up and pushing back against his hateful rhetoric and his hateful policies that continue to marginalize the most marginalized amongst us.
Melanie, you're a Democrat, so obviously you have really strong opinion about what Mr. Trump represents or his rhetoric. Others may disagree with that. But as a woman or as a young person, does the level of that rhetoric or that divisive conversation deter you in any way?
It does not. In fact, a lot of his rhetoric and his policies has contributed to rolling back women's rights in this country. And he has emboldened state governments all over the country to roll back what we have considered settled law, the women's right to choose. And we now have several states that have rolled that back and put in effectively abortion bans. And I think it's motivating women to come out and run for office at the local, the state, and the federal level in unprecedented ways. And we're excited and we're motivated and we're building coalitions across the country. And it's just been an incredible experience. And I think, he's definitely going to see a very unintended consequence of his rhetoric and of his actions, and that is that the women are rising and we are coming to take back this country.
Hasiba, I come from India and I witnessed the election that just happened a few months back. And many would say that the campaigning, the kind of speeches that were given were literally with the message that anything and everything goes. How would you, as a young person entering politics, respond to that?
Hi, first of all, thank you for having me. And absolutely agree. I think it's really difficult times. And what we are witnessing is that, I think the rise of the right for that
Hasiba, I'll ask you to park your thought for a moment because we're finding it a bit difficult to hear what you're saying. We'll just check the line. And in the meanwhile, Kamal, when you look at this whole political drama unfolding, whether in the UK or in the US, and journalists like me would ask you questions which identify you as a woman in politics, do you think that places you any differently from the men in politics?
Hi. Look, I can't comment about the states because I have, my own reservations about Donald Trump, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't have all the bits of information to make, sort of a calculated, informative, statement about him. But anyway, I'm just about to say that, women have to be thick-skinned. We talk about progress and we talk about equality and then we talk about rights that, we're as good as the men, in fact, better. And, if words deter us, or if tones deter us, or if narratives stop us from doing what we are heading to do, or if we digress from what we want to achieve, in this case, in our scenario for the Conservative Party, it is to get us out of the EU. If these are the kind of things, words or rhetoric, like I said, if that deters us, then we are not going to be able to be the change that we want. We've got to be thick-skinned and we've got to carry on with our plan.
Kamal, you speak about change. Melanie, what is the change? Let me just put my questions not in a negative but in a positive framework now. What is the change that you would be looking for in modern politics? Would it be a politics of agreement or disagreement?
No, I think we're definitely looking at trying to heal our country and looking to implement policies and pass legislation that impact for good the most Americans that we can. In our country we have a healthcare crisis, and there's no reason that our current government cannot solve this problem. We have some amazing policy stances in place, and we can't get them to agree on it. I think what we're seeing play out is an ideological war, and it's taking Congress away from finding and figuring out the solutions that are going to impact the day-to-day lives of Americans. So I think we're very much looking for agreement, and I think women do that really well. Even if we disagree ideologically, we can still find common ground and we can still come together to pass legislation that will help the majority of Americans.
And Hasiba, you head the social media, you're coordinated for the Congress Party in India. Is that a good place now for discussion? Does that bring people together, or do you think it adds to the divisive conversation?
I think social media has got both its merits and demerits, but right now, considering we're living in the post-truth era, social media is playing a big role in just letting people say whatever they want to say. So the reality can't be anything, but you're just getting away with everything. Bullying and just really toxic out there. But at the same time, women and young people just have a platform where they can speak their minds and just say what they want to say. So, I mean, it's a mixed feeling, really. Sometimes it gets very taxing, very difficult, and at the same time, that you can fight it out. I mean, I'm sure that a lot of women.
Well, I think we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much. Kamal Toor, Chairman for the Conservative Party Women's Organisation for Diversity here in the UK. Melanie Dorigo, Democrat in the US running for Congress. Hasiba Amin, social media coordinator for the Congress Party in India. Thank you all so much for joining us here. And just to mention something that we've spotted on Twitter, it's from one of our producers here at the BBC. She writes that the British MP Jess Phillips has said that a man was arrested outside her office in her constituency trying to get in today in Parliament. Miss Phillips spoke about getting threats against her safety this week. Divya Arya with you on OS from the BBC.